Should you sell your home in Orange County? Hey, here's a brutally honest analysis. So if you're a homeowner in Orange County and you're thinking about selling, you're probably wondering, one, is it a good time to sell? Number two, will I get top dollar for my home? And three, how long will it take to sell? And we analyzed some real MLS data. We've removed some of the extreme outliers, though, because there's always these weird anomalies on the ends of the data. So we kind of got rid of those because we wanted to just make sure we got the real answers and the truth. It might surprise you. So the first thing to consider is that homes are sitting on the market longer than you think. The average time on market is about 63 days across the board, which is approaching almost double of that of homes that had closed in just the last 30 days, which are averaging about 39.8 days. So that is something serious to consider. And more than 56% of all the homes that have been listed for over a month, more than 30 days. So if you're overpriced, you can kind of expect to sit a little bit longer. Here's the translation. Look, this is not the red hot sellers market of 21 or 22. Buyers are taking their time, and homes that aren't priced right are sitting or failing to sell altogether. In the last 30 days alone, 761 home sellers have taken their home off the market because they couldn't get it sold on their terms. There's a lesson here to be learned from that. And again, just about arbitrarily putting a high price tag thinking, my home is special and it will sell. A lot of people have been proven wrong. Next thing to consider, price cuts. Are they happening? Yeah, they're happening a lot. As a matter of fact, 24 to 25% of all current active listings have already reduced their prices. And if we kind of average those price drops out, it's working out across the board for all properties, about 4.5%, give or take, of their price that they are reducing. But here's what's interesting is specifically for single family homes, the average price drop jumps to about 7%. So what that means is that buyers today, they're not rushing into bidding wars. They are negotiating harder. And sellers that start too high, they're just forced to lower their prices. And the problem with this is that you don't want to go and do what's called chasing the market. We've got another video that we do on chasing the market. It's one of the biggest mistakes you can make when you're selling your house, especially in a softer market. Something else that we need to look at is the fact that there are more homes coming into the market, and that's a potential problem. So as of today, there are 133 listings that are in a status called coming soon, which means that they're in the MLS system, but they're not available to be sold just yet. And typically what that means is that sometime within the next few days to a week is when they're going to become available on the marketplace. What that means is more competition for sellers, and it means more choices for buyers. So do the math. More listings equals more options, more pressure to drop your prices in order to stand out. And then let's take into consideration this craziness of the insurance crisis that could scare off buyers too. I've already had several conversations with buyers who are considering how insurance is going to impact their ability to buy and afford a house and maintain those payments. Because if you've been following the California homeowners insurance crisis, you know that many insurers are already pulling out of the state, or they're raising premiums everywhere that they can. And buyers are having to factor this into their budgets, making them really hesitant to stretch their offers to make those really aggressive offers, especially in the larger, more expensive homes or in wildfire zones or flood zones or other high-risk areas. So, should you sell right now? Well, there's a few reasons where, obviously, if you have to sell, then now's the time to sell. So, if you have to, right? If you must move, like you got a job relocation or financial reasons or divorce or you're downsizing just because you have to, or unfortunately, you got to sell the family home because mom or dad passed away, and you're not going to keep the house. So obviously then those are times when you have to sell. Or if you have a condo or townhouse, they're still selling faster than single family homes, mostly because they're in a lower price bracket, something that more people can afford, a lot more, as opposed to the higher the price goes, the fewer people who can afford those homes, so more can afford condos. And then if your home is move-in ready and competitively priced, this is a big, big deal. If your house is kind of run down and it's old and you've been living in it, and and in your mind you're thinking, hey, this is a great house, I love this house. Yeah, sure, it has its issues, but that's not how buyers look at a house. They look at it as, oh my God, I got to make all these repairs and I got to fix this stuff and update it and tweak these things. Now, half the buyers that move into these houses never do anything anyways, but that's just their mentality when they're buying. So if you put your house on the market and it's not really, really moved in, like we can just move our furniture and be done, then they are going to be hesitant, because not only do they have to factor in the high price, they have to factor in the interest rates, which are hovering right now around the 7% mark still, but now they got to factor in a budget for updating and repairing and cleaning and changing and making it their home instead of it being your home, right? So make sure your home is move-in ready. Look, if you have a house and you're thinking, I need to sell this house, but it's not in move-in ready condition, don't worry. Let us know, because we have sources where we can have crews come in and do all the work that needs to be done, and you don't have to pull a penny out of your pocket up front. All of it gets paid for after escrow closes. And when you do the math on it, a lot of times you end up having all these repairs done, end up netting more money than you would have if you had sold it in its current condition. It's a conversation worth having, so we'd love to have that conversation with you. So when should I wait to sell? Well, yeah, wait to sell is obviously if you don't need to sell right now. If you're trying to think about selling just to try to get a crazy, ridiculous price for your house, now is not the time. But here's one thing that we know is that home values do increase historically. They just do. You think about it logically, the population continues to increase, but the housing does not. And that's a whole other conversation that we can have at another time, but it's a fact. And because of that, it's supply and demand. Simple economics says that those homes will increase in value as demand increases. So right now, I would say sit tight if you don't have to sell. Or if you're just, again, you're just one of those people that go, oh, I want 20% more than what the other house is sold for just because I think I can. Look, you're going to end up having to make a bunch of price adjustments and reductions, and you're going to go through the hassle of putting your house on the market and finding out that you're not selling. You're going to be one of those people who pulls your house off the market. And a couple of things I would say: don't waste your time and energy. Number two, don't waste the time and energy and resources of other people, like real estate agents and title insurance companies and home inspectors and all these people who are going to do all this work to help you try to get your home sold when you're not serious about getting your home sold. If that's the case, this isn't that market. 21, 22, yeah, you could do that and you'd probably get your price too. Please just hang out and wait. Or if your home needs a lot of work, like I said, if you don't have to sell, and if your home needs a lot of work, just sit back and wait for a little bit, just because buyers are being more selective than ever. So the bottom line is this: look, this isn't a list it and get 10 offers in a day market anymore. It just isn't. The right pricing strategy is critical, and sellers who don't adapt, they're going to be forced to cut their prices later, or like I said, chasing the market, which is a bad move. Bad move. So if you want a data-driven home evaluation, like you want to know, should we sell our house today? Is it worth it to sell our house today? Because you're thinking about selling, don't rely on guesswork. Get a real data-driven evaluation and a clear cost breakdown of what it costs to sell, because that's the other factor some people don't take into consideration, the actual costs associated with selling. And then they're surprised or upset at the fact that they didn't walk away with as much money as they figured they would. So let's talk about those things. Call or text me directly. Let's get you the best possible price for your home, whatever that is. Hey, do you know somebody who's in Orange County needs to sell a home? Why don't you share this video with them? and help them make a good decision about whether or not they should sell their home and what to expect. Thanks so much for sharing and watching. We'll talk to you soon.